Attacking is more fun than defending. I know that, but to be a good chess player, it's also a very important skill to be a good defender. That's why we talk about the most important defensive principles. Last time we talked about the rule, don't move any pawns in front of your king. This time we will talk about rule number 2, keep the position closed, especially in front of your king. Your opponent will try to open some files that he can bring the rooks and the queen and the bishops to the attack. And we have to fight against this. We have to keep the position closed, that the pawns are still on the board, and keep our king in a safe place. So we have this example. It's the game between Abdusatorov against Martinez Alcantara. It was played at the World Cup 2025, so only a few days ago. Here, white played h6 and has a very big threat. White wants to take on g7 and then attack on h7. The rook is ready to attack via the h file. Then the queen can also come to h7, and yeah, this would be very, very dangerous for the black king. So we want to keep the position closed. What do? We can play g6, but this also has a big problem here. If you like, you can pause the video and think about what white can do in this situation. White can take on d6, because here's mate on g7. We cannot take back on d6. And white will exchange our best defending piece here on f8, and there's nothing to do against queen g7 mate. So this is completely lost for black. So what can we do when we not play g6, but we also don't want to allow h takes g7? We can use another defensive principle, which is to exchange the queens. Because if the queens are not longer on the board, there's no mate. No mate on h7, no mate on g7, nothing special. Then we are in an endgame, and there are not so many mating opportunities. So that's why Martinez Alcantara played the very strong move queen c5. Now white can exchange the queens and take on g7, but then the rook on h1 is nice, but there's no mate. That's why Abdusatorov played queen e4. He wants to attack with the queen in the next moves. But now black has the opportunity to play g6. Now the position is closed and we don't have this problem on g7. And here the position is still very interesting. It's a little bit better for white, but yeah, this was the only defensive idea which is good for black. Queen c5 and then g6 to keep the position closed. Otherwise, it's completely lost for black. Black went on to win this game and the match and qualified for the next round of the World Cup. So this was a very, very important maneuver. Subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss the next defensive principle. Then see you in the next video, and goodbye.